we should be famous by now. Yeah. Like we should be household names.
Aloha.
We do it for the people, you know?
Shout out Pearl Harbor, by the way.
Shout out Pearl Harbor. Oh, I just realized I'm wearing a New York shirt. I don't have a Knicks shirt, but I got a Ramon shirt.
Ramon.
That's inadvertent, Ed.
CBGB.
Hello, that's right. Hello and welcome. We're back from theballerlifestyle.com. It's the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Brian Beckner. This is episode number 620 of the show. We appreciate you. We would appreciate it if you subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/The Baller Lifestyle Podcast. There's a new bonus prize up there for you now. That's where we do bonus content here every single week. So we do the regular show plus a whole bunch more that's only for our Patreon subscribers. And then in addition to that, I do a show by myself where it's like a ADHD. It's like a documentary of ADHD because I start talking and then I go on like five tangents and I never get back to the first thing I was talking about. And it's actually kind of frustrating for people, but some people like it. You should check it out. Patreon.com/The Baller Lifestyle Podcast. I'm joined now, as always, by the great Ed Daly, champion, New York Knicks fan, world champion, New York Knicks fan. Ed Daly joins us now. Ed, how you feeling, buddy? You got to be feeling good.
Holy shit.
You were at the game.
I was at game 4 when the Knicks came back from 29 down. I was at game 1 of the Cavs series when they came back from 18 down with 7.5 to go. So I've been at some great playoff games, but
these guys are on a mission. Yeah, go on.
I will say, I have watched sports, forever. And when you're a kid and shit happens, you're like, cool. But then you move on to the next thing. And then Maryland won the national title when I was in my early 20s. And that was great. But still, I was sort of kiddish. And then I have not seen any team I follow win a championship.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Since 2002.
I didn't think about that.
And Knicks never in my lifetime.
Yes.
And because of my son, I got into Premier League. I've been watching Arsenal. And so last month they won it. And it felt great.
Yeah.
And they were on a 22-year drop, but I had been watching for 14 years.
Right. You're not a lifelong fan.
It was great. And I was like, man, this is fun. I haven't. And then the Knicks won it on Saturday night. And it's I've never, and this is the first title that I've seen through the social media era. So you can just consume content.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's been as great as a sports consumption has ever been in my life. It's amazing.
That's a great feeling. I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy for all the Knicks fans out there. I have a lot of Knicks fans friends, and it just seems it's a team everybody can kind of be stoked for. It's just there's no other than the owner being best friends with Trump. That is an issue.
Right. And what was the one game they lost in the last since April 23rd? They brought that fucking asshole in, and it's oh, way to kill it.
Well,
but I would
say the fans did the right thing. The fans did the right thing, and they fucking let him know.
Yes.
In his hometown, they told him to fuck right off, and then he went to sleep. Then he took a big long nap during the game.
I get when fans can be annoying and people get, but the Knicks players themselves, this is a fucking likable team. They are 100% likable guys.
I totally agree. Free Charles Oakley. Go Knicks. Happy for the Knicks.
But he was there for the clincher because he got to go. He went to San Antonio because he's not banned from that arena, and that's where they won it. So Charles Oakley was there.
Beloved. It's a nice story, and we're all here happy for Ed. I was in Pittsburgh over the weekend, Ed, and
underrated town.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool little. It's the Northeast, but it's the Midwest. It is. It's Midwestern town. And so I'd always want to go to check out the ballpark. And my dad's wife is from there. And she's like, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And she's like, the Dodgers are going to be in town that weekend. Why don't you meet us out there? So I did. And Ed, look, I've come to understand something about myself. You get to a certain age, you get to a certain level of, you have to accept some things about yourself. And a lot of people aren't able to do it. I think I've been able to do it, but it took me a while. I am not an athletic person, okay? Let's just admit that. I'm not. I can't swing a golf club for shit. I played like some sports when I was a kid. I was like okay at stuff. I was, didn't really embarrass myself, wasn't good. I don't, I can like sort of ride a skateboard. I can't really surf. I snowboard. I don't really embarrass myself, but I don't like look like what the good guys look like. So it's like, I'm okay with it. I understand. In my history of attending major league sports, baseball games, I've probably been in the proximity, like within 10 rows of a foul ball. I don't know. 0 times, once maybe.
Yeah, I've never caught a foul ball in my life. And not because I can't catch, because I've never been close. So I'm just saying, I'm with you.
Well, hold on, because I'm going to add a little. I go to 2 games. I'm in like foul ball I'm really good seats at PNC Park. Great, like top 5 ballpark. Like just really one of the best ballparks in Major League Baseball.
Backdrop. It's great.
Intimate, yes. On the river, great fans, like everything.
Are you about to go Zach Hempel on us?
No. Because this might be my issue, Ed.
Okay.
Because I don't try. I'm of the generation where it's embarrassing to try. So we had really good seats, both games. The first, I went to the second and third game of the series, where the Dodgers, first night the Dodgers bullpen fell apart. And it was actually kind of exciting because the Pirates in the 7th and 8th inning just started getting hit after hit after hit. They were, it was like, I can't remember, it was like 6-1, and they ended up winning like 9-6 or something. Like it was a good game for the Pirates. Then I'm there the next night, Thursday night.
Okay.
I'm sitting like right behind home plate, like a little on the first base line, just a little bit, but just basically behind the plate. Mookie Betts hits a foul ball, fucking sky high. And I look up, and Ed, it's fucking to me. It's not
like a, so you're behind the plate. So this is like a sky high one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not like near me. I see it come off the bat, and I look up and I go, this is coming directly to me. So I go, and I'm doing commentary, and I'm like, oh, this is mine. I got this. Like I'm talking about it. I see it coming in. It's got backspin. I'm looking right at it, and it's like, I can't believe it. I don't have to move my feet. I'm sitting in my seat. I just stand up, and there's the ball.
2 hands.
2 hands.
Right.
I go, there's a guy in front of me.
I just want to clarify. Of course you didn't bring your glove.
No glove. No glove. I wasn't going to like try to catch it with my hat.
No.
I'm going to catch it.
Yeah.
I stand up. I go, fuck, this ball's coming to me. And I kind of don't believe it, to the point that as the ball comes down, Ed, I kind of like reach for it, but I reach for it like a bitch. Like
basket catch.
Yeah, like I reached out to like nonchalantly catch it, and there was a guy in front of me, and I think it was a little bit more towards him. So I kind of would have needed to lean out a little bit. Like
you didn't go to the ball. You didn't go to the ball. You let it come to you.
Ed, and I kind of didn't believe it. I had my hands out like this, and I watched the ball come down, and it brushed the tips of my fingers. It just went like the wind of it, just the seams scraped my little fingers, and it bounced off the fucking seat in front of me,
and then ricochet,
bounded up to the guy behind me, who, like a good Midwestern dude, gave it to a kid.
Okay.
That's never going to happen. I would have given it to a kid too, but Ed,
right.
It was not only was it catchable, it was hit directly to me.
Should have been your decision to make which kid you give it to.
That's right. So, I wanted the glory of handing it out to a kid.
As an adult, I look around and decide, like, when my kids were young, they were getting the ball. But now,
of course, if you're with a kid, you give it to a kid with you.
I went to an Oriole game with my son 2 months ago, let's say.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we get a ball, we're giving it to that kid. Like we're now, and I've magnanimously in my mind been like, I'm going to give it to that kid. and I'm never been close to him.
I also pick out the kid, Ed. I knew which kid I was giving it to.
Because you're thinking of what a good guy you're gonna be.
I know that
guy. Feeling.
I'm gonna get the fucking shine of the crowd. Everyone's gonna be going, look at that fucking good guy, Dodger fan. I was gonna represent the West Coast, Ed.
Right.
People are gonna go like, see, they're not all assholes.
Hey, the coastal elites are maybe good people.
Good guys. Yeah.
I know. I hear the narrative about myself and I never deliver.
Yes. Never. Same, Ed. But like, this is gonna haunt me.
Yeah.
It's gonna stick with me. Like, this is somewhere exists video of this. Like, it was on TV. Like, the fucking ball went directly to me. There's a video of me being so pathetic and unathletic, meekly, barely attempting to grab the ball. And it's like, part of it's like, well, I don't want to be seen trying because that's embarrassing. Like, if you're trying to catch the ball, you look like a loser. But I didn't I could just all I had to do was put my hands out a little bit extend my arms completely, and I'm fucking coming home with the ball or giving it to a kid.
You're going to magnanimously give it to a kid.
Of course I am.
If I can make you feel better. You didn't go Hempel and bring your glove. So your dignity is still intact. You didn't get the ball. You didn't give it to the kid, but you didn't show up with a glove and not get it.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Imagine if I had a glove and then and then it goes off the tip of the glove and then I look like a real bitch. Yeah. Never a glove.
Then you just got to go drown yourself in the Monongahela. Like you just, you go right into one of those three rivers, Allegheny, whatever it is, Susquehanna. You're going in one of the rivers with bricks in your pockets.
I fill my pockets. I fill my pockets with Iron City beer, and I walk into the fucking river.
Right. Just walk right into the three rivers.
Okay. That's like, before we get to it, I need to make an announcement here. If you're a Patreon subscriber, a bonus bar listener, then you already know about this. We've been doing this a long time, Ed and I joke about it a lot, but we've been doing this like 13 years or something. It's a fucking long time. And we have encountered, we don't have a big audience, but we have a loyal audience, and we're blessed enough that we sort of get to know these people. These people become parts of our lives. And a couple years ago, no one's going to forget Kyle and Scotty. We lost him tragically, and it was a big blow to the show. And it's with a heavy heart that I have to share with the audience that we've lost another deeply, deeply loved, beloved, and valued member of the crew here, David Bray, our friend in Salt Lake City for work, who was a regular caller. If you listen to the show for any amount of time, he was like the most consistent caller that we've ever had. And he had the toughest job at the airport. Everybody knows that. The pilots are glorified bus drivers. The fucking flight attendants don't do shit. It's him. Yeah.
So this dude, just like to see how sudden and fleeting things are. I still haven't used the Guy Fieri barbecue wing sauce, and I was thinking about it.
Send us that.
Like we just got that in the mail, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make some wings with this.
Yeah.
But you not that this has anything to do with him being alive, but you'd think like, oh, I just got this. Oh, I got to make that. And it's like this dude was a loving, caring person that found our, asked us for our addresses to send us something. He's showing love to us, said that he was doing this because he loved us and wanted us to, and now he's gone, and it's profoundly sad.
Yes. And
one thing I said about when Kyle passed, and I feel the same way about David. It's like when somebody leaves us, if they left their mark, that's all you can do.
100%.
And anyone who listens to this show regularly knows him. Like, we all got a good vibe from him, and he left his mark. We felt a kindness and a sweetness and funny, and he was a person that affected in a good way a lot of lives, and we will forever be grateful for that.
Great, 100%. Well said, Ed. He was a great guy that was battling cancer and was fucking sending us wing sauce in the mail during his cancer battle, because that's just the
he's
kind
thinking
of
of others.
Absolutely. I just scrolled back and just found one of his calls. Let's listen to a little David Bray, RIP, dear friend of the show, and somebody that's going to be dearly missed around here. Let's hear from him one more time.
Hey guys, what's up? Just watched you guys. You guys look great. Great job with that. You and Ed. Anyway, as far as my medical situation, I just came back from my MRI. What's going on is, guys, and that's all. I'll leave it at that. My two of the chambers of my heart are only pumping 1/3 of the blood that a normal man my age should be getting. So I was fainting and stuff like that. A week from today, we're going to figure out surgery, whatever. So it'll all be taken care of. So that's what it is with my heart that was happening. Anyway, whoever this sling blade / bozo / putz is, this flight attendant, he must work for Spirit, because that would be an awful job, because there's melees on those flights. You get 50-50 chance of a fight going on, or a brawl, and shit being thrown at you. So Delta flight attendants, and I'm sure American, but Delta flight attendants say this is the easy. Why don't you come be a flight attendant? It's the easiest job in the world. And a lot of them have been gate agents, ticket agents, then you want to be a gate agent once you're more proficient in your skills. But they're like, this is so easy. They said, yes, you have to go to training, which is hard, swim test. But the chance of that shit happening, tell everybody get in crash positions or put on your seatbelt. That's just, what is that? That's 2% of the job. The rest of that shit is being a sky waitress. What would you like? Pretzels or peanuts? Coke? Or would you like a cocktail? That's all it is. They are waitresses in the sky. They will tell you that, man or woman. So I don't know why. The problems happen before getting on the plane. The plane's going to Orlando.
Where the real problems.
And a pissed off mom will come up and say, me and my 5 kids, we're separated. We're going to Disney World. And I want to say, look around. The whole fucking plane is going to Disney, ma'am. You're not the only one with little kids. So, the shit I have to deal with out there. So, I don't know what. Once the door to the plane shuts, there's nothing going on. They can't.
They're in there.
They can't cause that much shit. I guess unless you're on Spirit or maybe Southwest, but I don't know. It kind of irritated me because it's an easy fucking job. You're a waitress in the fucking airplane for an hour to 4 hours, depending how far the flight is. All right, guys. I love you. Take care.
Oh, man.
See ya.
We love you too, David. We're going to miss you, buddy. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Okay, Ed. Let's talk about some on to lighter matters. Let's talk about some people who died.
Just tell us who was dead now. Just tell us who was dead now. It's a sad segment.
Sad segment.
And it will not be an update on who's alive. No, let's get a tragic update.
Tragic update.
Because Daly has been keeping up on who just died.
Yep.
Because we're about to
Yep.
hear from
Love that part.
Celebrities are dead. So tell me who died.
Ed. Who died this week?
Okay, a Hall of Fame namer.
Fuck yeah.
R.I.P. Peabo Bryson.
Yeah.
He was a singer known for Disney hits Beauty and the Beast and A Whole New World, 75 years old.
I believe he also did Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong.
What a banger that is.
Where the eagles fly on a mountain high. That might not be Peabo Bryson now that I start singing it. I'm like,
Jennifer Warnes and somebody.
Yeah, Eddie Rabbit. I don't know. I don't think that's Peabo Bryson. Still,
What a name, Peabo.
He's the last Peabo, right? We're not gonna have another Peabo. This is like the Garys. We're never gonna have another Gary, and we're never gonna have another Peabo. We're never gonna have another Ed, but mostly Peabo.
R.I.P. to the name Peabo and to Peabo Bryson.
Clip that. R.I.P. Peabo Bryson.
R.I.P. in 2026.
Ed.
To Gene Shalit.
We killed this guy. We killed it. We talked about Rex Reed a couple weeks ago, and we're like, "Oh yeah, remember a while back we talked about
decades ago when Gene Shalit died."
We both Mandela effect remembered the time we talked about when Gene Shalit died. Gene Shalit had not died yet. He's dead now. He died we were previewing his death.
In our defense, in the year 2026, that would have made him 130 years old.
How is it possible? When he was
100 this year.
He was 100, which means in 1985, when I thought he was 85, he was 60 years old.
Yeah.
59 years old.
Yeah. Another guy who was selling us a bill of goods. When Willard Scott was doing the Happy 100th, thanks to Smucker's jelly, he was doing those birthday wishes. I thought he was in the 100 age range when he was at like 62.
Unbelievable. He's long dead, right? Willard Scott?
Sure.
Yeah, he's got.
I know. Dead. I know his wife, Edie McClurg. We've talked about elder abuse that she's dealing with, so she's having some tough final years.
Yeah, but Willard Scott's long gone, and Bryant Gumbel's he's on his last legs too, right?
Yeah,
Greg Gumbel's dead.
Yeah, because Greg passed away a couple years ago. So Bryant,
I think we might have talked about Bryant having some kind of like health emergency. So we could be at a dead by Christmas situation on Bryant. But here's the thing about Bryant Gumbel. Bryant Gumbel is one of those fueled by rage people, which they could live forever.
He hated his brother.
He hated his brother.
Hated his mother.
Oh man, do you remember remember the end of his Real Sports?
Yeah.
He would do like an editorial and he would just eviscerate people. Like he did one about
the NFL.
Yeah, he did one about Gene Upshaw one time that was just fucking so cutting. Like it's like you could play it as an encore. Like it's just that good. Right. So like people with that kind of rage inside of their hearts, they usually can live a very long time just living on that.
Right.
Yeah. R.I.P. Gene Shalit, who we said was dead like 3 weeks ago.
R.I.P. Raymond Berry, Hall of Fame Baltimore Colts receiver. Sure. I think Johnny Yu was throwing him passes.
Yeah.
But he was the Patriots head coach in the '85 Super Bowl against the Bears.
Oh, really? When they got fucking smoked. What were they even doing there?
3 years old. Good run for him.
R.I.P. Ray Berry.
R.I.P. Foster Silvers, Boogie Fever singer, 64, pancreatic cancer. Very sad. Boogie Fever was of a time.
Boogie Fever. Yeah. Slaps.
Oh, wait, I got
it's somebody else
on the glasses because we got some that are off the list.
Oh.
Where
Freelancing?
is she? No. Yeah, you sent it to me. What?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
R.I.P. Ann Schedeen.
Oh, yes.
Ann Schedeen, actress who played the mom on Alf, 77. Yeah. She was a nice looking woman.
Yeah, sure.
She was married to a guy that did not deserve her.
No, Willie? Yeah.
And then in recent years, the daughter was cute.
Yeah.
But remember what we learned about the actor who played Willie.
Oh, he was
blowing dick and smoking
crack. Yeah. He was sucking dick in a crack house. Yeah.
So he had an untimely demise. And then I think it was last year, the son, we did an RIP on him. They found him in a car. He was, I think, mental health, and he he froze to death or something something very sad. And I watched way too many episodes of that show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't remotely good. It was essentially, so for people that aren't from the same era.
Yeah. He was an alien. He's an alien.
There was an alien landed in some guy's garage.
But he was a puppet. The alien was a puppet.
He looked like a Muppet, but like an ugly one. Yeah. And he was essentially a Borscht Belt comedian, and he threatened to eat their cat.
There was always trying to eat their cat.
For some reason, they refused to like let any authorities know. They're like, we're going to look out for him, even though he terrorized us.
Yeah.
Like what?
It was kind of like,
what was in it for the family?
He was kind of like a miniature Harry and the Hendersons, because there was a movie, Harry of the Hendersons, with John Lithgow.
Yes.
As the dad.
And that's when like Bigfoot is our family member.
Bigfoot lives at your house, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna imagine the shits Bigfoot takes. Imagine like, like
what he eats, how many toilets he clogs.
Yeah, he's clogging it. Is he house trained? Like, I feel like he shits in the yard, but you can't have him sit in the yard because you're going to have that nosy neighbor. Because on a sitcom, you always got a nosy neighbor.
Yeah,
so
Mrs.
the nosy
Achmonic.
neighbors. Yeah,
Mrs. Achmonic, who was the actress, eventually played Seinfeld's mom on Seinfeld.
Exactly. So, yes. So same thing, but at least Alf is tiny, right? So he's easy to hide.
Threatening their cat.
He was always trying to eat the cat.
I'm not a cat guy, but like if somebody was threatening to kill a member of my family, I'd be like, well, guess what? We're gonna go hit you with hammers.
Yeah. Well, we're not. Sure. Yeah, you're out of here. Yeah. We're gonna, what we're gonna do? We're gonna put you in a hefty bag, and we're gonna tie off the hefty bag and toss you out in the fucking garbage.
That's right.
Do you think eating cat was like a euphemism though? That Alf needed it. He had that long nose, Ed. Because if he's if he's down there eating, he's doing work with the nose.
And you remember Willie?
Yeah.
When you heard the stories of him sucking dick for crack, that all tracked.
Yes,
but
it makes sense.
And Schedeen was a nice looking lady. Willie was not satisfying her.
Not handsome. I would encourage. So Alf was a big hit, and Ed watched every episode. I'm sure I did too. I think it only ran like 4 seasons, and you can read about this, Ed. The Alf creator was obsessed with Alf never being seen as a puppet. So even the studio audience couldn't see that he was being manipulated. So they had to build sets that were raised so the puppeteer could work the puppet from little like channels in like behind the furniture and stuff, so that Alf would have legs and shit. And if you ever saw Alf on a talk show, Alf would sit on the couch on the talk show, and you wouldn't be able to tell that he was being. So NBC was like, dude, you got to just we can't, this is too expensive. Like, this costs too much to do.
We're building all these sets for the Borscht Belt aliens.
Yes, and the Alf guy, the Alf creator was like, fuck off. If you want to have Alf needs to be seen as though he's real. He was like, who's the guy? Andy Kaufman. And Alf was like his own kind of like Andy Kaufman. He never broke character. Yes.
So I thought I had seen just about every episode. Oh. Then when I was researching for my Christmas book, I looked at like, what are all the Christmas episodes? Because I was writing about TV and movies and stuff. There was an Alf Christmas special. And I was like, okay. So I hadn't seen it ever. And then I watch. And Alf, somehow, I feel like Cleavon Little was involved in this episode too.
Oh my God.
He gets transported to a hospital because they confuse him with toys, because he looked like a fucking stuffed animal.
I think
it's like a Toys for Tots situation, except Alf. And then he comes alive.
Yeah.
And he's talking to, let's say this is let's say her name is Kathy.
Yeah.
And she's a cancer-stricken. He's in the cancer ward, and they're trying to like create a Christmas for Kathy. In the room, and he's doing everything he can. He helps deliver a baby at one point. It's wild. Yes. But then they give her the Christmas, and they're like, "Oh, this is so sweet." And then the credits roll, and it says, "In memory of Kathy, age 12 years old." And you're like, what? This was based on like a real kid dying. It was awful. It was awful.
I thought you were going to say that's worse, but I thought you were going to say that they did an episode where Alf and his friend Dudley were getting cake offered to them by the
bike shop,
by the guy with the bike shop with the apartment in the back of the bike shop.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes, Mr. Carlson. That was a tough one for Carlson because then it's tough to
Never
work
worked
after that.
Yeah, you can be the Maytag man, but nobody's going to give you scripted lines anymore.
No.
You are a bike molester.
Yeah, you're a molester. R.I.P. that lady.
Yeah. R.I.P. Anthony Head, Buffy and
Tony
Ted
Head.
Lasso actor, 72 years old, complications from pneumonia. I watched a season of Ted Lasso. He played the rich owner whose wife took over the club and hired Ted Lasso like a major league situation where she wanted to hire the worst coach so they could like fold or move or something, like kind of like major league. She wanted him to, but anyway, the rich ex-owner was this dude. So R.I.P.
Anthony Head. Tough name, Head.
Yeah, I know.
Tony Head. Call me Head. Mr. Head.
Tony Head.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Rick Adelman, Blazers and Kings head coach, 79. He coached the team that got robbed by the Lakers.
Oh yeah, they got fucked by the fix was in
refs.
there, Ed. Yeah.
And he was the coach of like the Blazers with Clyde Drexler that lost to Jordan and stuff. They were a very good team. He definitely had a good career as a coach.
Yeah, Rick Adelman was one of those guys that he was always coaching a team with no stars. And then he would be like almost as good as the team with the stars.
Yeah. Good coach. Good career.
Yeah. I mean, with the Kings, he almost went to the finals, except that somehow his team fouled the Lakers 20 times in the fourth quarter. It's like, guys, stop doing all these fouls on Kobe Bryant. Like he's just shooting free throws the whole time. You have this big lead. Why do you keep doing these fouls? And the refs just kept calling those fouls until the Lakers eventually took the lead.
I've got another late breaker.
Tell me.
R.I.P. Gemma Stapleton, Australian sprinter who finished third. She died in a motorcycle crash in Koh Samui, Thailand.
Yeah.
Wet conditions.
Those scooters are dangerous, dude, and people don't wear helmets.
Right, and it's like people just think, oh, I'm on vacation, I'll just rent this. And it's like, have you ever ridden this? Why would you be riding in the rain? Yeah. Very sad. No helmet.
Yeah. And, worst case scenario, you're not wearing a helmet. You end up like Gary Busey, who fucking crushed his skull on the curb on Sunset Boulevard. And now look at him.
And both looks and acts weird.
Yes.
Ever since. Like,
ever
what was
since.
That, 1980? That was a long time ago.
It was in the 80s. Weird. Yeah. Wear your helmet.
R.I.P.
That sprinter was very attractive, though, which makes it sadder, Ed. Let's be honest. If she wasn't so hot, she was
a beautiful young 25-year-old sprinter.
Yes. Very sad.
R.I.P. Paula Marquez, Mexican influencer. Yeah. 30, sadly, possible suicide.
Tough road to hoe in the influencing game.
Influencing is a dangerous breed.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Stacey King, 3-time NBA champ with the 90s Bulls, 59 years old. He was I think he was mostly a backup center, but he played.
Oh, he played.
And he was also a very good center on the Mookie Blaylock Oklahoma Sooners. They lost to Danny Manning in the 88 national title game. And he was like the star. He and Mookie Blaylock were the stars. So good basketball player. I think he was like one of the Bulls announcers. And he was. And they were shocked by it. So this wasn't I don't know if it was heart attack or something, but he's a big guy.
He looked like Stacey Donut King in the end days.
I just saw a video of Roger Clemens.
Oh, really?
Be eating days instead of throwing them.
R.I.P. Stacey King. Yeah.
R.I.P. Stacey King. And R.I.P. Aldon Smith, former 49ers NFL pass rusher, 36, found unresponsive in truck. You remember, he was rookie of the year, sacks, really good, but kept getting suspended for substance abuse, I believe. Yeah. He was troubled, right from the jump. He was great, but was out of the league pretty quick.
He seemed to have some trouble controlling his emotions, which seems sort of common with guys that run into things with their head a lot. Speaking of that, the clock's ticking on Chandler Jones. Remember, he was like making weird videos and stuff. I haven't heard from him in a while, but things cannot be going well for old Chandler Jones. And also, what's his name?
Ben Gordon, the Bills player?
Him too, yes. No, the receiver, and he was...
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. He's swinging his dick around in Qatar. Wait, isn't he charged with attempted murder?
Qatar, you usually can't get away with much.
No. He did. He swung the dick around in Qatar, and then he shot at somebody at some MMA fight in Miami. Yeah. Which is like just as lawless as Qatar. I mean, or more. Okay. Let's talk some sports, Ed.
My name is Brian. They call me the other guy. I host a podcast show. I'll give hetero life a try. If you see something on my hands that makes you think I'm not a man, it's just my cool rings, you see. They're as sparkly as can be. I might show on DVD.
Ed, what's happened in the world of sports this week besides sprinters and motorbikes?
Well, this is pretty damning because Phil Mickelson had his golf club membership revoked and was kicked off a course mid-round for allegations of inappropriate contact with a female employee at a San Diego area club.
Yeah.
If you know anything about golf clubs, there's a high threshold, and when they're going to say, we don't want your money.
Yes.
We don't want your money or your fame.
Yeah.
We don't want those things.
He's a professional, he's a fucking
one of the
major
most
champion.
People.
Yeah. So it's a big flex for this. I think this place is called The Farms, which is like in northern San Diego. It's a big flex for them to say, when they're trying to sell memberships, which are probably, I don't know what this shit costs.
Golf course good enough for you? It's good enough for one of the best golfers of the last 40 years or whatever.
Yes, to one of the most well-known golfers ever, like a fan favorite, like everybody knows who he is, a fucking favorite son of San Diego. Do you know how much fucking groping you have to do for them not to put up with that? And
for someone to contact the marshal and then him talk to the president of the club.
Yes,
because mid-round that means everybody had to make decisions.
Yes.
Within a couple hours, they're like, okay, we need to get him off the course.
Yeah, there were phone calls made. There's probably a board. They had to we convene the board. We got to talk. So that means they had been talking about this before. This was like a final straw, and they probably talked to him about it before. This is like, it's not. They don't just like automatic, out of the blue say, oh, hey, you're fucking Gropey McGrabber over here. You got to go. They had to be like, hey, man, we get it. You're famous. You're used to having it thrown at you on the road. When you're fucking playing the John Deere Open, when you're playing the Bridgestone, there's a rumor that Phil Mickelson stopped playing whatever big tournament is in Ohio. I think it's like the Jack Nicklaus or something. There's a big tournament in Ohio that pays a lot of money. And Phil Mickelson abruptly stopped playing there like mid-career. And the rumor was that he stopped playing that tournament because he had a love child in the area. So I don't know if that's true or not, but now you hear this kind of shit and you're like, how could maybe it is?
Anything's in play. Anything's in play.
He's a piece of look, this guy's a piece of shit.
Everything's allegedly.
Yes.
However,
yes.
Everyone knows a golf course is not going to want to reject a moneymaker for their club unless it's like, all right, he's got to go.
Yeah,
he's got to go.
You don't find he's probably the face. Like the sales team has fucking big pictures of him everywhere. You're gonna get to meet Phil. You'll probably see Phil here from time to time. That's a big selling point to these. And also, this is a country club, Ed. So this worker, I'm imagining, is pretty used to some full of themselves white assholes being a little forward with her. You know, for her to come up and complain about the most famous member of the course is like that. Something had to be happening there
multiple times.
Yeah, if you want to get paid, you could say it about anybody that plays there. They're all fucking rich. You know, it doesn't. What difference would it make? But you wouldn't necessarily pick the most famous guy to make up a story about.
Right, and also like if you wanted to get paid, like this is last straw stuff. So the settlement type of stuff probably already happened.
Yes.
Oh, here's 10 grand. Just stop.
Yeah, stop.
Like
leave her alone.
They said, we don't want your money. Nothing is good here. You need to get out of this course immediately.
Yeah. Leave now. You're on the fucking 7th green. You have to leave now. Go get your shit. Unbelievable.
Broncos linebacker Jonathan Cooper was arrested for the second time this week after trying to eat his girlfriend's phone. Apparently, I think her dead mother, she had some videos on there, and this was the last memory of her mom. And he's like, well, I'm going to try to eat your phone.
She didn't have the cloud? She don't know about the cloud? You're supposed to back up to the cloud.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ed,
if this has any relation to Aldon Smith, where he went.
Head trauma might have something to do with this. Ed, if I said right now, I'd say, if I go, hand me your phone, I'll give it back to you in a minute. Hand me your phone. And then I said on the table, we set your phone down, and then I said on the table, $10,000, a stack of $10,000. And I gave you a computer, and I said, go to your iCloud and show me a picture from your iCloud. Do you think you'd be able to do it?
No.
No, there's no way. Where is it? I don't like. I paid for this.
One of these things I only know about in theory, but I don't understand how.
The only pictures I've ever seen from iCloud are those ones that the listeners sent to us when it was like every famous actress doing all the fucking dirtiest sex you could ever do, and people are like, "Oh, that's from the iCloud," and I'm like, "What? How's this on the iCloud?
Yeah.
And where's mine? I have it too.
No idea how it works.
No clue. Where is it?"
Yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P. Or I mean, yeah. So I would have been like, somebody's like, I'm gonna eat your phone. I'd be like, okay, give it a shot.
Cool.
Can't eat a phone. That's impossible.
It would be kind of funny to watch him try.
It would be. I mean, I remember back in the day, I had one of those little Samsung flip phones that was like, it was so tiny. That was like all you could maybe like down it. You know, I watched a whole series of videos of some chick on Instagram who was like a fitness influencer that accidentally swallowed one of her AirPods.
Oh.
And she was like she was waiting to pass it. And I didn't get far enough to know whether or not she did. I assume she did eventually.
It'd probably be entertaining for the first like minute or two, and then it's like, all right,
it's
whatever.
Enough. Yeah. Not
Cookie Monster's social media account threw some shade at Elmo for straddling the fence on the Knicks Spurs series. So Elmo tweets out, I want both teams to have fun. Everybody's like, you're from fucking Sesame Street is New York.
It's New York.
Choose the Knicks.
Yeah.
And then Cookie Monster trashed him.
Also, didn't we find out a couple years ago that Elmo was a pederast?
Yeah. Kevin Cash.
So they had to find a new Elmo probably, and the voice is probably a little off.
Yeah.
You know, it's not exactly the same.
Like the modern day Bugs Bunny, and you're like, that's not Mel Blanc. I don't know what's going on. It's not
close.
It's close, but it's not the same.
It ain't.
But yeah, it's fine. If Elmo took place in Texas and he was like, go Spurs, everybody would be like, fine. But don't say I'm cheering for both sides.
You can't look. No. This is like LeBron James showing up to the fucking and ALCS in a goddamn Knicks hat. And also LeBron James, I'm a Cowboys fan. You know, it's like that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yankees, Cowboys. The two most fucking popular teams.
I also
don't think so. You're from
out,
Cleveland. Yeah.
Just fuck Wemby. What a whiny bitch. Everybody thought he was French. Like this wonderful, weird dude. Yeah. And it's like, no, he's just a petulant bitch. Complaining about everything, not shaking hands.
He didn't shake hands?
He stormed off the court, didn't shake anyone's hands.
God, what a bitch.
dirty player elbowing Naz Reid in the head in the conference semifinals. Like, he's a dirty player. I didn't I just always saw the highlights. I watched a few games of him, but like in the finals when everything was at stake, he was just dirty play after dirty play.
Really?
He's a fucking bitch. And
he's
great.
That's what they say about Euro players. You know, they're dirty. The Euro hockey players, same thing. Dirty. It's a dirtier game over there.
Right. He's great and blah blah blah, but like, nah, he's a piece of shit.
Wow. Yeah.
University of Texas softball player Hannah Wells has a dugout superstition.
What the fuck is going on?
Eating ladybugs.
What is that?
That's so weird. And like I saw an early story. It's like she did it once and I got a hit, and she's like, "Well, I guess I got to eat ladybugs." First of all, I see a ladybug like once every 6 years.
Right.
She's finding them in her dugout and she eats them every day.
Where's she getting all these ladybugs?
Very weird.
And she did it once and then got a hit. Why'd she do it the first time? Who's just like, oh, I'm gonna eat this? Oh, look at this bug. I'm gonna eat it right now.
Eat it. Fucking
weird.
That? Do you eat your boogers too? Like you're a weirdo.
Like Jelly Roll. You out here like Jelly Roll being disgusting?
Disgusting.
She probably listens to Jelly Roll. What's her name? Hannah Wells.
Yeah. Hannah Wells is gross.
Eating fucking ladybugs. Get the fuck out of here.
I think this past weekend, multiple San Francisco Giants pitchers appeared to be protesting the team's Pride Night.
Yeah.
So I assume at least some of them are telling on themselves, right?
This is a tough one because, there's a lot of these ball players are not in support of these alternative lifestyles, I would guess. It's not, I can't say I'm surprised by this.
Well, I know your boy Clayton Kershaw had big problems with it.
I don't think he did.
Oh, he did. He definitely had issues with gay pride.
He just had to have them have a Christian Pride Night to even things out.
But it's absurd. There's Latin night. There's all these different Japanese heritage night.
Filipino,
You wouldn't if there was Japanese heritage night. You wouldn't put a little fat man and little boy on the brim of your hat.
That's a good point. You make a good point. Yes.
Also, Pride Night, nobody's trying to fuck you guys. It's fine. You could just be like, this is something the team does because they're trying to make money to pay me way too much to be a mediocre pitcher.
Yes.
And this is how you do it. You expand the audience. Nobody's asking them to go French kiss Alan Cumming during the seventh inning stretch. Yes. They're just saying we're celebrating a portion of our fan base, so they can all go fuck themselves.
That's true. And also, and Ed, you've convinced me. And also, the Giants had to be reprimanded by the league because the outfielders would all do a dick rubbing.
Oh yeah. The gayest celebration of all time.
Yeah, they rub their dicks together in the outfield.
I thought that was funny. And they're not. Yeah.
I'm with you. And also they play in the gayest city in America.
Yeah. Well, not if you ask Tom Brady.
Kansas City.
A deleted Daniel, is it Cormier or Cormier?
Yeah, Cormier, yeah.
Cormier post claimed Eric Trump wanted insider UFC White House info.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty clear that Eric Trump was thinking this was professional wrestling and he wanted inside info on who's going to win. Yeah. And then pretty shortly after, he deleted the post and then he's like, "It's crazy, I'm hacked." And it's like,
hacked.
What? Yeah. What? Hackers you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to implicate the president's dumbest son, who also seems like the exact person who would do this.
Yeah.
And because Daniel Cormier was like, "The fuck is this? I'm not doing this." And then immediately he's like, "Oh, I was hacked." So clearly there was some.
Wait, are you saying this is one of the three of the president's sons who seem to be making miraculous investments based on government events that are about to happen? They're like, "Oh, we should invest in this drone technology that would get used if we ever went to war in Iran." What do you mean we went to war with Iran the next day? We had no idea.
What are the odds? I would bet we would attack Iran only 4 hours before we attacked Iran.
Like, when is it enough, though? You know, like, it's like you're already making hundreds of millions of dollars off your insider trading. You're like, oh, let me see if I can bet the UFC and fucking kill it on Polymarket. You know, like, when is it enough?
Forgive me for speculating. I'm starting to think they didn't have a great parental influence on being a quality human being.
Well, I don't know. Motherless, you know, their mom got pushed down the stairs and buried at his golf course. So,
that's like, right. For tax purposes.
Yeah. Who knows? The jury's out. Okay, let's do some voicemails.
He's so easy to hate. Your time he likes to waste. His calls are far from great. His calls are far from great. He's such a stupid fuck. He seems down on his luck. His voicemails really suck. His voicemails really suck. No one's enjoying him. He's so annoying. Plus so fucking boring and worthless, but he's got nothing else to do. And he's even worse than Ish. His faults are useless shit.
I wonder if Ish died. Like, we lost David Bray.
No.
We knew him.
Quote us anymore.
Yeah, he used to quote us. You know, Manuel is probably just working the night shift, you know. Although Manuel was a caller but not a listener. He would just only call.
Because we would ask follow-ups.
We would ask, and he would never respond. And remember that one time he called and he actually had a good segment?
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to start a segment. We're like, all right, cool. Give us more of those. Yeah. Never again.
Never called again. Listening. Yeah. Okay. One quick voicemail here.
Hey guys, Super Lee.
Super.
Extremely sad to hear about David Bray's passing. He was a good guy. I got to meet him once, have some beers, full of life, and just a really good guy, a fun guy to hang out with. It's a testament again to how special this community is. So yeah, that was hard. It was very fitting though that I happened to see there was an article of him where the Knicks honored him 10 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
For being their Delta service member of the game, and then go on a few days later to win the title. So congratulations, Ed, for that, and Brian, don't feel too bad or beat yourself up about not being there to meet him, because I've seen you in person and you're like about my shoulder, and I was at like David's shoulder when I met him in person, so you'd be right about his crotch. And for a guy who wrote songs questioning if he is hetero, Cool Rings or might give hetero life a try, you really don't need to be pictured next to a giant man's crotch.
He had a very big penis too.
Love you all.
Oh yeah.
Love David Bray, and take care.
I had a friend of a friend whose brother-in-law was on the Atlanta Falcons. And so I went to a game, and then after the game, we like hung out with all the players. And this is many years ago. This is pre-smartphone. And I was taking pictures with all the offensive linemen, and they were so fucking huge. I'm like, take a picture of me, but just crop just only get me and their chest in the picture, because they're all such fucking giants. I thought it was so funny that the pictures just didn't even show the actual dudes in the picture. Okay.
I once knew a guy who stood next to Brandon Spikes at a toilet in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a whole game was born out of that, Ed.
Baby's choice, it's a choice I made. Baby's choice, watch me shiver while you shake.
The stars are built differently.
Pringles spikes.
Whew. Never forget that image. Never.
seared into your frontal cortex.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be tough. One email. Hi, Brian and Ed. My Twitter follow has made it very clear that a professional athlete having a baby during the season is selfish.
Another one.
I read that Dodgers manager Dave Roberts is missing a game to attend his daughter's high school graduation. I believe it was college, but yes. Would you be able to provide any guidance as to if this is selfish or not? Thanks, G-Fish. Well, hold on, because I saw that and I sent a screenshot to Jason. He doesn't often respond. I said, I just sent him the link and I said, tell your daughter to graduate in January. And he responded, they can walk in the winter. Look, the man is consistent, Ed.
He is consistent. Also, I would point out that Dave Roberts has somehow found a way to win back-to-back World Series. Yeah. And the season is 162 games. So, I think he's earned a break.
During the season, Ed, that umpires get vacation. An umpire, despite the fact that they're off the whole off season, during the season, the umpires get a couple weeks off because the travel schedule's so grueling.
It's a lot.
Yes. So why not fucking give Dave Roberts a couple weeks to fucking go, his daughter's graduating from Stanford. Then they could maybe take a little graduation trip. The season, we're fucking 65 games in, Ed. We got fucking 2/3 of the season left. It's fine.
But again, I would be fine with the Orioles manager doing that tomorrow and they're in 4th place.
Yes.
But Dave Roberts, he's found a way to win 2 World Series.
He's the winningest manager of all time.
And what's going to happen in a random game in June or May when this happened or whatever?
How much does the manager matter, Ed?
There was 2 chapters of Moneyball, the book, that were about how the manager kind of doesn't matter.
The manager matters so little that they had Philip Seymour Hoffman play him in the movie.
Art Howe.
Yeah, Art Howe. Art Howe was pissed about that. Look, the manager does not matter. You know what the manager's there for? The manager's there to be Justin Turner got a floozy pregnant. Okay, let's see if we can get that abortion. Call the guy that does the abortions. Can we get that? Okay, we got the fixer to handle. Who needs a car bot for their it's shit like that.
Yeah.
Hey, go wake up Joe Beimel. He's passed out again in his hotel room, and we're gonna need him to pitch. It's like that kind of shit.
Yeah, right. Or the famous scene in Bull Durham where they're like, "Hey, what are we getting for the wedding gift?"
Yes,
candlesticks.
Yes, 100%. Let's calm down on the fucking manager, and let's calm down on the fucking dedication. You know what? You know what you can be dedicated to? These balls. I don't give a fuck. Let them have some time off. It's a job. They have a job just like everybody has a job. People take time off from their job.
Yeah, they do. But also, I believe that if his daughter, not that this would happen this time of year, if his daughter happened to be graduating in October during the playoffs or World Series, he'd be like, sorry, this hurts that I'm not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to manage my team in game 3 of the World Series. But he's letting you know, and you should know, this game doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. Nothing matters. You know what matters is what matters is that David Bray is a guy we never met that called the show that we're never going to forget. He left an impression on us because he was a kind soul person. That is what matters, is how people feel about you is what matters.
63 of the Major League regular season doesn't matter.
Yes, not showing up to work doesn't matter for shit. No. Fuck your fucking job. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Okay, let's wrap it up there. That's it for the regular show. We appreciate you listening. We continue here now for the Patreon subscribers.
Well, it's time for non-sports segment on the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. Non-sports. I'm talking about the segment now. Non-sports segment. Oh.
Ed, what is popping in the world of things that are not, in fact, sports related?
Well, story number one, another one, late breaker that you sent me today that we should discuss.
Yeah.
It has to do with a famous wrestler.
Oh.
Fuck is this one? It's a good one. It's a good one.
Who's that loud comer?
I mean, come on. Was there any doubt? Like, look. Here's the legacy.
This was like chalk.
Yeah, of course. Here's the legacies you can leave in this world. Like, are your kids good people? Were you a pleasant caller to a podcast? And B, how fucking loud did you come? Like, did you come loudly or not? Like, what's the point in being on this planet if you're not going to come in a very loud, expressive manner? You know what? Feels fucking earlier, good. Ed, coming feels fucking good.
Leave your mark. Some people leave their mark in different ways.
Yes. Who's that loud comer, Ed?
Bruce Campbell says Macho Man Randy Savage had trailer shaking sex on the set of Spider-Man.
Damn.
Now, my question, which Spider-Man? There was Randy Savage was on the set of what Spider-Man movie? I thought the first movie was like Tobey Maguire.
That one. It's got to be that one because he's been dead since around
Randy Macho Man Savage was in Spider-Man?
I don't know.
The best is he probably was an extra at this point in his career, and he's still just rocking trailers loud. Ooh, yeah.
So is this like Pee Wee Herman? Like after being Pee Wee Herman for our whole lives, he would start. Oh, like he's in Blow. You know, like he plays the drug dealer, the gay hairdresser drug dealer guy in Blow, and he doesn't play it as Pee Wee Herman, and you're like, oh shit, that's Pee Wee Herman. So was he billed as Randy Poffo? Look at me, I know his actual name, Randy Poffo. Did he show up as Randy Poffo?
Leaping Lanny.
Yes, also dead. The poet.
Yes. Bad poems. But like that means he had no off switch. Like, no. Hey, failed baseball player, wrestler, loud comer. That's what he did.
Yeah. Well, imagine you're Randy Savage and you're in a trailer, you're in one of those Star Wagons on the set of a fucking big Sony movie. This is Ed, back then you got to remember early 2000s, there wasn't fucking Marvel yet. There wasn't these big comic book movies 3 times a year. This was like the first of its kind other than the Batmans, you know? It's like
most people on the set are like, well, I hope this works. And he's like, I'm going to wear someone out in this fucking trailer. I don't care what's happening.
So he's like kind of like the biggest star that, you know, people are like, oh, there's Randy Savage. And he brings a piece of puss. He goes, oh, I'm going to call up one of my, you know, whatever town they're in. He's like, I'm going to have my New York piece of ass show up. And then she shows up and he's like, sweetheart, I'm Randy Savage. We got to let him know. You know, these kids they're going home. They're knowing that I like to fuck. You know, I'm going to snap into a Slim Jim guy. I'm going to snap my Slim Jim and I'm going to come very loudly in this trailer, get it shaken.
Also, what was the need for Macho Man?
Why is
his name was Randy Savage?
Yeah.
Like, you already have a nom de plume. Randy Savage is good enough. Great. If entering the ring, Randy Savage, what was with the Macho Man? There was no need for that.
Yeah. This is like Thomas the Hitman Hearns. He was also the Detroit Cobra.
Great nickname. Yeah. No need for Hitman.
You don't need the Hitman. Like Hitman's fine, but the Detroit Cobra?
Yeah.
Is that cock related? Do you think like the
right.
I saw a lot of Dave Parker jerseys this weekend, and I was like, first of all, I was thinking I'm going to go on Ed's secret Chinese website and get me a Dave Parker jersey. And
beautiful.
Yeah. Secondly, I was thinking about his nickname, the Cobra, because of his big old dick. And I was thinking, I lived my whole life not realizing that nickname was about his big old dick. And so was the Hitman was probably hung too. He probably had a big old Cobra.
Of course, you saw the way he swung those fists. He definitely was packing.
Definitely.
Soprano star, and really just great in everything. Joey Pants, Joe Pantoliano.
Yes, he is great.
Swears by the 3 and by the way, Hoboken's finest, Joe Pantoliano.
Oh, of course, yes.
Swears by the 3 M's to improve mental health. Care to guess what the M's are?
Oh, okay. Moderation.
That's not
right?
one of them.
It isn't?
No.
Okay. Meditation.
Meditation is one of them.
Yeah, you gotta meditate, relax every day. Mind. I don't know, Ed. You're gonna have to
meditation.
Yeah.
Medication.
Medication. That's right. You don't want that. Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it just means weed. Who knows?
Right. Sure.
Masturbation. He strikes me as maybe a loud comer too.
Yeah, for sure. He's an actor, Ed.
Joey Pants.
He's Joey Pants over there. Do you ever see him?
He's one of the Fratelli brothers in Goonies.
Oh, that's right. You ever see him in around Hoboken getting a black and white cookie, Ed, or maybe having a hoagie?
I have not seen him. I've
Yeah.
seen other celebrities. R.I.P. Danny Aiello used to own a restaurant here, and he would just sit on the stoop. But Joey Pants, I just know that he's from Hoboken, but I have never seen him. There is something funny. It's a pretty cool mural by tennis courts near where I live.
Oh,
Born in this town, Michael Chang, the tennis player, and there's a big mural of him.
Michael Chang.
You know, remember that
I
guy?
won one French Open. There's a fucking mural
there's this whole
of the
thing,
guy?
and I'm like, well, you know, you win a major. You're from a mile square town. Like,
Sure.
okay,
I guess. Yeah.
his family moved to California when he was like 6 months old.
Yeah. See, that's bullshit.
Stolen valor.
That's 100% stolen valor.
But it's a good looking
Chang.
mural. It is a good mural.
Of
but
all the people to have Michael Chang.
It's right by my apartment. I see Michael Chang every day.
Wow. You're going to need to take a picture of that and post it to Instagram, please. I would like to see that Michael Chang mural. What else?
Unfortunately, there was some confusion, duplicitous from the boss. Stain's Aaron Lewis is a little peeved because he says Bruce Springsteen duped us all with one of the most anti-American songs ever, Born in the USA. He just to clarify, he said this like last week.
Now, I have to assume, like I was talking to my dad this weekend, and he was talking about, he's like, oh, who's that comedian that, because he lives in Arizona, and he's like, there's this comedian that lives out here, and he does like, right-wing comedy, and I'm like, oh, that's Rob Schneider. And I go, to me, that's a choice, because Rob Schneider is just regular ass Rob Schneider, and he goes on the road. He's probably not selling that many tickets, right? He's not selling out. But if he's right,
there's a lot of guys who tack to the right because this is like Rob Schneider was on a commercial endorsing Viktor Orban in Hungary recently. Like that.
Stop it.
Yes. Yeah,
he lost by the way. Yeah,
he tacked to the right, and he got paid. Nobody in Eastern Europe is paying Rob Schneider for anything, and then it's like, oh, can you? Deuce Bigelow, would you please endorse the far right candidate that's going to lose?
Of course, yeah.
Like a week before the Champions League final, which he wanted to preside over.
It's a heel turn, right? And so, like, I don't know shit about Stained. I know they suck.
Like I know of them, and I know I'm not into it.
Yeah,
but I also know that I thought Born in the USA was patriotic when I was in 3rd grade, and then by 5th grade, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Yeah. This is not a patriotic song.
When is somebody going to tell them about Fortunate Son? Like this is like,
listen, there are lots of politicians who still use that song and have no clue. Or there are a lot of politicians that love Rage Against the Machine and don't realize they're the machine. Yeah,
they are the machine. Yeah. So, but I feel like somebody like Stained, like we forgot about Stained, but if they're right-wing Stained, then they can be on like the Kid Rock thing, and they could do the state fairs, and they can make money.
They can appear on Greg Gutfeld.
Yes, like there's a lane you can drive in that keeps you earning.
And you buy 15 years of career.
Totally. So I feel I don't know this guy. I don't know one thing about him, but I feel like that's what's going on here.
Good news. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are going to marry at Madison Square Garden, which hosts I think just a touch under 20,000 people.
So another 60 years before you win a championship, Ed, because your basketball mecca is about to be cursed.
Game 3 got cursed, but this is going to be even worse. Look. These two were next to each other cheering for the Cavs.
Yeah.
In the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, he's from Cincinnati.
And then she and the Hames sisters are in the front row at the game I went to.
Yeah.
Going crazy over the Knicks.
No.
What? No. But also,
yeah,
like any attempts to say, like, no, we're still regular people. No regular people get married at Madison Square Garden. That's an absurd. That's a ridiculous thing to do.
I think like there's a thing where like people become so well known when you're really successful in any arena where people really know who you are, and then you have an event like this, it's impossible to have an event where you can invite everyone because you know too many people.
Right.
That's when you go, hey, we're doing an intimate event where, just my sister and my mom are, and it's just close family only.
But also, you don't need a big party because your whole life is a big party.
Our whole life's
everywhere you are, every restaurant, the chef is going to get you something special. Like you don't need this special treatment day.
Yeah.
And also, as disgusting, it was vile. Jeff Bezos' wedding.
Disgusting.
With all the rich stuff. But at least that was a wedding where there was a location and stuff. Madison Square Garden, nobody gets married there.
It's an arena.
Bezos' thing was disgusting, but it was a wedding. Like it was... Yeah. It was a garish, over the top, too rich, wherever it was, Saint-Tropez, wherever it was.
Yes.
But it was a wedding. What? Are you Gallagher? Is somebody going to smash watermelons on stage? This is not a wedding venue.
No, it's embarrassing. This is an embarrassment. This is an embarrassment. And that you make a good analogy with the Bezos wedding because Bezos, he's the richest or one of the richest guys in the world. And everybody looked at that and went, what a fucking loser. This guy's a huge fucking piece of shit. What a loser. None of those people are his real friends. Leonardo DiCaprio. Right. This guy's trying to pretend that he's so rich. He's like, look how rich I am. Friends. Yeah, I have famous friends. None of these people are your friends. They just want to go to the thing to get their fucking
picture. But it was a wedding.
It was.
You wouldn't have 20,000 people sitting around. Like, that's an absurd thing. What?
Yeah. Yes. No,
but fuck both Bezos and
fuck them and R.I.P. the Knicks. This is very sad, but because she's about to curse your franchise forever.
Listen,
at least
I was saying to my son, I was like, you need to enjoy this because
it's never gonna happen again.
Like you never know. It's never happened in my lifetime. Yeah. So they won. I'm going to enjoy this for as long as I possibly can. 100%. Conundrum coming up.
Tell me.
Cop was arrested and fired for allegedly pointing a gun at a fellow officer for microwaving fish at the police station. It involves lots of things I'm not a fan of. Yeah. Guns, cops, and microwaving fish.
Yeah, it's weird that because there was just another story about some cops in Pasadena who were also having horseplay with their guns, and one of them got shot. It's almost
sound like the cops I would think of.
Right. It's almost like cops aren't that smart. It's almost
like they just are in it to play with guns.
Yes, it's almost like they're fucking big bullies that played high school football that just like to be in charge and control people and be dickheads. And so it's like, oh yeah, you're microwaving fish, and look.
Monster.
I do it less now than I used to, but
I hope so, because you were a little too proud of the fact that you microwaved fish.
I was microwaving fish quite a bit at work. Now I will a lot of times if I have some leftover fish, I'll just throw it on top of a salad, so it doesn't have to be heated. I don't. Yeah, I'm not heating.
I assume when you talked about it, I thought you were just lashing out at someone who stole your silverware. That's what I thought you were.
It could be. Yes. I mean, it is. I took the high road there, Ed. Thank you. But this happened in South Carolina. And then, like, what is it?
I mean, South Carolina, first state to leave the Union. There's other issues to play with that.
Last state to proudly fly the flag of the Confederacy at their state house. So, yeah, there's issues there. But look. Should somebody draw a firearm on you for microwaving fish? No. But should you be microwaving fish at work? And also, what are these cops doing at the microwave? Like, they should be out in their fucking cars doing policing. Like, they should be out on the streets, policing the streets. I follow that guy. Film the Police LA.
Oh yeah, you've shared links over the years with me. Wonderful guy.
He just walks around Hollywood harassing. Well, he's big into Scientologists now. The Scientologists are terrified of him. So
he knows his shit, because some of those videos, I'm like,
the law.
I wouldn't know that you could do this and say this and insist this.
Yeah,
he knows shit.
He caught a couple cops vaping in their car the other day, and he fucking lit them up. He's like, I'm gonna need your badge numbers. You can't do that, Officer Jones. You know better. You know you're not allowed to do that. I need your card. I'm going to have to file a report on you. Like, the guy knows what he's doing. They're terrified when they see him coming. So, like, I feel like they need a Film the Police LA guy down here in South Carolina for both the microwaving of the fish and the pulling of the gun.
Ted Danson says the horrendous 1993 blackface scandal is my scarlet letter. I try to forget this, and then in this case, Ted Danson brought it up in an interview, but don't talk about it anymore.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, first of all, he was dating Whoopi Goldberg, which is
shocking.
She's a lesbian.
So for people who are too young for this, Ted Danson, the star of Cheers, super handsome guy, very beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And really was talented. Like, it was Tom Selleck. They were 3 Men and a Baby together, right?
Yes.
Tom Selleck
and his big ass penis.
Yeah. These were like 3 of the most eligible bachelors.
Yeah, big stars.
And he's dating Whoopi Goldberg.
Crazy.
And it was shocking on that level. Yeah. And then they were doing a Friars Club roast of her.
Yeah.
And he shows up in blackface. And in 1993...
wasn't okay.
The world was shocked that he was dating Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
And then also, it was a different time. If this was 1963, this was 93. Everyone's like, blackface. Yeah. It was so bizarre. He was beloved. And in every interview I've seen since, in the 30 plus years since, he seems like a lovely guy.
Great guy. He's on Curb.
It's so bizarre that he did this. It didn't affect him because he worked. He never stops working. Like, he's worked forever, and he's great and everything. And I don't think it really is his scar. Like, what he's saying is, I'm embarrassed of that. That was a mistake. It was, and it was a huge mistake. It didn't really affect him because he's such a great guy, I think. Look, it didn't affect Justin Trudeau either, and he did it multiple times. He did, and he's a lot younger than Ted Danson. I'm gonna say, as not quite as bad as blackface or brownface, because he was Aladdin. Justin Trudeau. Yeah. He is so into fucking Katy Perry. Yeah. His country is hosting the World Cup, and Canada was playing a home game. Yeah. And he decided to attend the USA game in California or wherever, West Coast, with Katy Perry. Yeah. He's like one of the most famous Canadians of all.
But isn't he hated there? I think he's hated there.
Oh,
was it? I think it was kind of run off.
I just felt like
it's like Trump going to the Knicks game, like it's a bad idea. He's probably safer in Canada, I would guess. I don't know.
I get from that perspective.
Yeah. What else, Ed? Finally,
this is an update to a story we did not that long ago.
Oh yeah, Ed.
The California housewife has a courtroom meltdown as she learned her fate for killing a man in kinky sex act. This was the Saran wrap thing.
Yes.
She let the guy flop around like a fish on a dock.
Yes.
And he can't breathe because he had a fetish. But like, what, she go into the other room to microwave fish or something? Like, why? You would notice someone can't breathe.
Yeah. It is. This is weird, Ed, because he hired her and he paid her, and he had some sort of asphyxiation.
Like it was established he was in it, but also somebody says, I want you to stab me in the throat. You still are going to get charged with manslaughter if you do that. Like just because somebody wants it, you should not. I want to be shot. You get arrested for pulling the trigger. You cannot just let a guy let him surround himself with saran wrap. You can't do it to someone.
Remember that guy in Germany was like, he put out an ad on Craigslist, and he's like, I want somebody to, what do you call it when you cut their dick off?
Oh yeah.
He's like, I want somebody to cut
well, it's not being a eunuch because that's the balls.
That's a ball. I think the balls might have been involved though.
Castration, but it's more than castration. That's balls.
Dick. Exactly. Good point. He's like, I want somebody to cut my dick off and then eat it in front of me. And then a guy did do that. But then I think he might have bled to death or something. I can't remember the details. It was a while ago. But then it's like, and then the guy was charged with the crime, but it's like, well, he asked me to do it, but you can't ask somebody to murder you. And this guy, in this case, he wasn't asked to be murdered, but like, you got to be able to like ring a bell or something,
right. You can't have a safe word because you're being saran wrapped, but there has to be
Javier Salamanca. Well, Hector Salamanca could ring the bell, you get ding, 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 ding. Like I'm done being suffocated now. Like you could do the safe word. Do you have a safe word, Ed? I'll tell you mine. You want to know my safe word? You want to know my safe word?
Stop.
Halibut. That would be if I had a safe word, I don't. But if I had one, that would be it. Yeah.
That's what the cop was microwaving at the police station.
The end. Okay. We'll wrap it up there. Ed with the perfect callback. Hold on. No, that's not it. I got to find the song. Oh, right here. TBS outro. Oh my God. Here we go.
R.I.P. to the great David Bray.
R.I.P. the great David Bray. He will be missed. It's just like, what do you leave behind? How do people feel about you when you're gone? Think about that. Think about David Bray and then think about that. For Ed Daly, my name is Brian Beckner. This has been episode number 620 of the show. We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
LS, hell yes, the lifestyle's baller. Podcast getting bigger and not small.